Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. We're going to be having a look at where we think this is going and some of the previous options that we looked at as well. Before we jump into that, first off, I'd like to say Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you've all had a great time with your friends and family, and I hope that this year works out well for everyone. Okay, so before we jump into the analysis, just want to say thank you for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not leave us some feedback down below in the comment section. Okay, so let's get into this now. So we were looking at a few things the last time we had a video out on this, and I'm going to just turn them back on because some of it, we're looking for the potential we could have had this as a triangle and a B wave position here. Where we're looking at this as an A, B, C, D, and then this is an E wave to the upside. Though this E wave has now come up here and taken out actually this C wave high and this A wave high here, and these shouldn't do that. So they should end. This should have ended just before the C wave zone here. However, we're going to keep an eye on it anyway, but basically I don't think that this option is playing out anymore because of how it's developed. So that was the one way we were looking at this move, is that we were looking for a triangle within here and then effectively looking for the potential of actually breaking down a little bit lower here towards this 1158 region at a 1-to-1. And basically with what we were looking at with that was all of this to be a W wave, to get a X wave to the upside and actually look for that continuation to the downside. This is still possible, just the structure would be slightly different. So it's possible here that we actually have an A, B, and a C in a flat correction within this move. And then we could be looking actually at a B wave here, and then another, or an X wave, and then another 3-wave move here. So it is very choppy and it's hard to read currently. But it is possible that we could actually look to have something like this, where we have a W, X, and a Y within this move, and then we actually could look to potentially be starting to break down for this 1158 region. So within this option, what we're looking for is a deeper retracement here. And like we talked about previously, this green support zone here with this these areas, sort of this 1162, 1168, those were always potential target areas that we could look to actually come down a little bit deeper within this move. So it is possible we could look to actually move down towards this zone. We can see now that the structure starting to develop off this move is actually looking like it could actually become an impulse. We could argue that we have 5 waves here, where we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 into this low, and we've come actually back up here. So if we were looking to make a bigger 5-wave move to the downside, we wouldn't want to cross back above this 1208 region. And what we'd be looking for then is actually something like this, where we could potentially have completed this as a 5-wave move here. And then we're looking for that wave 2 to the upside, followed by a 5-wave move for this wave 3 to the downside here. So within this move, we'd obviously, if we did develop a 5-wave move down, this would actually change the structure, and it would be an A, B, and a C to the downside. And basically within this, we'd be looking to target out this as a 5-wave move. It is also possible that instead of getting a 5-wave move here, we might get some kind of a 3-wave move to the downside, as these Y waves can take on pretty much any form. So we just have to keep our eyes open and see what ends up developing. But should this become a 5-wave move to the downside, effectively what we would want is we wouldn't want to go much higher than this 786 zone, and what we'd be looking for here would be a move up into this 1199 to this 1204 region with this wave 2. If that does play out, for instance, if we come back and maybe test back up here towards this 50%, or it depends exactly where it lands, but if we just say with this 50% area here, what we could then be looking for is a move to the downside. So confirmation of this would actually come by moving, I'm going to move it a little bit up there to that 50%. A move down towards this 1170 zone would actually indicate we have a 5-wave move here developing to the downside. It's still early days with this. We need to see how this reacts and whether this can manage to take back this 1208 region. And if it doesn't, then we have another option we need to also be aware of. So if we do look to break down in a 5-wave move, effectively what we'd be looking for is this 1170 for this third wave as a confirmation, a move back up towards this 1181 zone, which might actually just retest this previous support zone, and then looking to break down towards this 1168 to this 1164 region. So if we do have this move, we can see this would bring us quite close towards this 1-to-1 zone. From there, we would still be looking for the potential to have this move to the upside in this C wave, only because the structure is looking very corrective here for the most part. We can argue that we might be setting up some kind of a diagonal within this move, but the structure isn't great. And basically I would want to actually start to see this progressing down and taking out this 1150 zone. If we did do that, effectively what we'd be looking for is evidence that we are within this teal third wave. And currently, let me just double check this. I think that this is off of this current zone, but let's just double check it. What we'd be looking at, if I can get it on this low point here, up, down, get it on there. There we go. Towards this zone here. So it'd actually be a bit lower off this current point. I think I worked it off of this 1-to-1. But if we do start to actually just break down from here, we could potentially look for a 1.618 extension here for this third wave. If we just break down from where we currently are, if we move back to the upside, obviously this changes it. But if we did start to break down, this would be the next target area that I'd be looking for. This 949.15 as a typical third wave move. This would obviously move this fifth wave box to the downside, but I'm not going to worry about that too much for the most part, because it's going to take some time to develop if it does start to play out. But there are still options for the upside as well. So we just need to give it a bit of time. It is possible that this could be playing out, like we said. Alternatively, if I just turn all of these off for a second and we get rid of these things that we don't need here. If we quickly turn back on this one, this triangle option, however, is not invalidated. But what we would have to do here for this to be valid is actually look at the potential that maybe we have a bigger triangle forming here, where this is actually our B wave top here, and we could look to develop some additional legs in this to form a bigger triangle shape here. So this is still possible, and what we'd be looking for with this would be actually that we are within this Y wave, and this is a W into this low point. We have this as an X wave here, and now we're starting to form a triangle for a Y wave. So Y waves can have a triangle in them. They're actually the only ending move that can have a horizontal triangle in it. So this is just something that we need to bear in mind. It doesn't happen very often, but it is possible. So if we do start to see this where we get an A, a B, and a C, but we fail to break back below this 1180.106, it is possible that we could actually see some additional legs here in these zigzags, looking to complete a triangle here, where this could actually break to the upside upon completion. If that did have to play out, effectively what we would be looking at is, if I turn this back on, this one. What we'd be looking for is effectively from the completion of this E wave, we would be looking for this move to up towards this 1270 zone. It would change slightly depending exactly where this E wave ends, but yeah, breaking down below this 1181 would invalidate this potential of a triangle here, and then we'd have to just look at this move as potentially moving straight to the upside. Unfortunately at the moment it is very choppy, and I know it's not great having all these options on the table, but they are still basically viable, so we just need to give them some time to see how they react. We can also argue that potentially we completed here at this low, this 1181.06. And we could be looking to some kind of a structure developing here to the upside. The problem with this, initially I was looking at this and thinking maybe we have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and we're looking to make a diagonal like this. The problem is that this third wave is longer than this wave 1, so it couldn't be a contracting diagonal. And if that's the case, basically what we'd have to have is an expanding diagonal, but then this wave 4 would have to come lower than this wave 2, which for the most part, it's not going to... Well, you can't cross this wave 2 with a diagonal unless it's expanding, but it just starts to look very forced, and I don't really think this is what's going on. If we do start to see some impulsive movement to the upside here, we could argue that within this move, maybe we've had a diagonal where this is a 1... That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into there. And then we could look at this as a retracement for wave 2. The problem is it would have been very deep. And I mean, it only just didn't cross the line. So this is 1181.08 as the low. And this is 1181.06. So it's like fractions of a penny here that it's not crossed that low from. So we just need to keep an eye on it, but if we do start to see a move upwards and we say this is a high point, we look down to this low point here, I'd only start to get more confidence in this move if we started to move above this 1222.7 and break some of these high points at this 1233 and here at this 1238. For as long as we don't do that, it is still possible that we could actually just have a direct sell-off to the downside here, and it's just not making much sense at the moment. So we just need to be aware. If we do start to break down, we take out this 1150 zone, then it is likely we're within this wave 3. But because this is a B wave, it also makes it quite tricky, because what we could even get is, like we talked about previously, a move down below this low and then a C wave to the upside. There's nothing indicating that we're going to be coming down here unless it's a W and X and Y and then it extends slightly and we come down lower. It is possible we form that WXY that we talked about, and we look for that 5 or an ABC here where we look for that 5 wave move to the downside, and then we look to push up. Although it is very choppy and hard to read, so we could potentially look to break up from here, but I don't have a lot of confidence in it because of the way the structure is formed here. You would have to be assuming a lot of things for that to play out. So we just need to have a little bit of patience and see how we react. If we can manage to hold this 1181, then there is potential we could look to break up. Although for as long as we don't, for as long as we're above it, if we do break down below it, basically that would invalidate any potential of that. Okay, so I hope everyone found the video useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not leave us some feedback down below in the comment sections. Also in the description you'll find an affiliate link to BYBIT. This is a great exchange to use if you don't have an exchange on, if you don't have an account on BYBIT already. It really is a great exchange. It allows you to see you can set your trade up basically, and you can see your liquidation price. You can put in your stop loss, take profit, and it allows you to just have it just allows you to plan your trade very well. You know, you can see how much profit, how much loss you'll make with the trade if you have certain take profits and stuff. So you can play around with it and make sure that you've got good risk reward ratios. Also in the description below you can find a link to Discord. Why not jump down and come have a chat with us? You know, once in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff and we'd be happy to help you out. Okay, with all that said and done, I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see each other in the next video. Take care out there, everybody.